Hello, I'm Poplar Ponderosa, and welcome to City Planner Play's 1 Hour City Challenge. The goal of this challenge is to try and get a high population as we can in only 1 hour and make the city look good. Now this is the island here. It's based on Rock Island. Now we'll take a look at the water. We can see where the water is moving in case I want to put in a drain. Here we can see the resources. There's lots of fertile land and some ore. Then we can look at the wind direction, which is moving up to the left there. So we'll keep that in mind for our industry. The roads, there is a road, single 2-lane road coming in and a rail line. I don't think I'll use the rail line because it is quite expensive and takes up a lot of space. Now let's get started. Okay, so I started off this build knowing that I would need to terraform a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean quite a lot. I flattened a few large areas, one large area for my main city, another for the industrial area, and I tried to create some nice slopes up for my roads. Here I'm putting in the French water tower. I will be using a lot of the French assets in here because I haven't had much of a chance to play with them, and I think this is a good opportunity. At this point, I'm getting my grid going. Yes, I am using a grid. I know it's not the most European thing to do. It's, I guess, the North American in me, but it is efficient for the purpose of this challenge. I will try and make this look somewhat interesting. I swear it will look more interesting than just this grid here. You could say, why not use the grid tool? That would have been faster. I want this specific grid size, which is 112 by 112. And here I'm coming in to try and create a nice smooth road up to the top. I put in a roundabout for traffic efficiency because I know I'm going to have quite a bit of traffic coming into here. The purpose of this road here is I want to create a couplet through the middle of the city, and here I've got a 4-lane road coming up from that roundabout. I've got the European low density residential, actually the beach residential there. I'm using those. I think they look pretty nice. So here you can see I'm removing a lot of that because I actually made a mistake and my city isn't totally symmetric. So I will come back to that in a moment. In the meantime, I need to get my industry going because I have a lot of industrial land. There I actually made a mistake and I made a grid with 4-lane roads that slowed me down a little bit, but I made it work. This is where I put in the landfill. I wanted it to sit kind of down, as far away from the town and also as low down as possible so it wouldn't really be seen in maybe some of the cinematics or screenshots. At least that was the goal anyway. There I'm using the French medical clinic and the French crematorium. They are very beautiful assets, so I wanted to get them in there. This is where I'm starting to fix my grid and a little bit of the symmetry. I had to remove those roads and reconnect it. I often forget to speed the time up after a milestone kicks in. So sometimes you'll see it playing at 1 speed, but I try and remember to put it up to 3 speed as often as I can. This is where I'm zoning in more of the French row housing and starting to make my road layout look a little more interesting. Now I figure I should probably slope up and build a road in from my industrial area so I don't just have one road going all the way down there, but I have 2 accesses. There I've activated the couplet with 2 one-ways going down the middle, and I will create a park in the middle as well, which I think will make the city look very nice. I'm trying to keep my low density stuff around the outside and save the center area of the city for higher density. Here I'm kind of fixing some of the zoning. Again, I messed up the symmetry at the beginning. And you might be thinking also, why are you putting those big assets on arterials? Well, That's just for more interest at the end. It's another aesthetics thing. It's not totally perfect for traffic or transportation purposes. You don't really want to put those kind of uses on arterials, but here I'm going for a combination of population and aesthetics. I'm not worrying too much about the transportation system. My residential demand here is just flying off. I think it's because I created that huge industrial area. So I have a lot of trouble throughout this build satisfying the low density residential demand. It just keeps kicking up. There I had to take out my first loan, and I'm going to put in this French police building. I think it looks perfect in this spot. It is a very beautiful building. And there I clear out that central park. And I'm going to do a little bit of quick detailing, and you'll also see me put in one of the surfaces, try and make it look like it's well taken care of. This is kind of the entry point to the city, so as people are coming in, they get to see this nice, beautiful building and nice manicured lawn. I did mean to continue that pattern down the rest of the park, but I actually forgot and I ran out of time. Unfortunately, I didn't get that in. I think it would have been a nice extra touch. Again, here I'm fixing some of the zoning for density purposes, trying to get some of the higher density in there closer to the Central Park. I don't know if that's what I want to call it, but I guess I'm kind of thinking of the design of Paris and how they have these big master planned areas with parks spanning out, maybe something like, I can't remember the name of it right now, and somebody's gonna tell me in the comments, but the name of the park where the Eiffel Tower is. And you'll see I actually try and get a little touch of that in about 5 minutes or so. Here, continuing zoning, there I'm putting in some more medium density. I also got some of the low-income housing. I'm trying to use as much of the French assets as possible. There I'm running out of power. This is an ongoing issue throughout the challenge, trying to keep up with the power demand. So I upgrade them. I also add another connection so it's not bottlenecked. There I'm throwing in some roundabouts in the industrial area because there's some traffic issues. The traffic will impact the city in ways that could impact the population growth, so I'm trying to be considerate of that. Here's some, I think that was French low-income housing again. Now I'm running out of water, so I need to get a little more water. That water tower was good for a time, and I really like the French water tower asset. It actually reminds me of a lighthouse. I've seen other people say that as well, and that's why I put it out on that peak over to the left there. I think that was, it just reminded me of a lighthouse. So it kind of served that purpose. I also added the upgrade to it where it is taking care of some of the sanitary demand as well. And I actually didn't have to put in a drain for the rest of the build, which was great. I had a planned location for it, but it never needed it. That water tower just managed to handle all of the demand for sewage, which is incredible. Here I'm finally getting to mix in some more uses. I've got some office there you can see. I think I'm starting to get some of the mixed use as well. Yeah, off to the right. This is kind of the cap to the end of the park. So I'm trying to get this park in nicely. The paths are giving me a bit of trouble here. I remember that part, that was a little frustrating. It was trying to make bridges, these short bridge segments, but I just wanted grounded paths. There I'm doing more of the mixed zoning. Sorry if I'm flying around and this is moving so fast. I'm trying to get this 1 hour condensed into 15 minutes, so you don't have to sit there for the whole hour. Now, extending my loan there, and because I keep on having power issues, so I decide to get the gas power. I unlocked the gas power station, but I didn't have enough money, so coal it was. And then I had to extend my industrial area because I was still having so much industrial demand. I do eventually have the idea to raise the taxes on my industrial so I don't actually have to build more. And here I am putting in some more low density European, just regular European, not the beachfront assets. That was basically, I'm just still having so much residential demand for low density, and I didn't know where to put it in this little city that I built. I didn't expect that much demand. I know it can be crazy. And here, yeah, putting in more row housing. The row housing looks beautiful. I love the French assets. Again, I know I keep on talking about that, but I will say it over and over and over again. Here, again, fixing some of that low density commercial, putting in more row housing. This area I had to expand, and I put in some low income housing. Again, the French assets. This was just kind of me trying to respond to the demand of the city. You can see the traffic there is getting crazy too, so eventually I need to do something about that. I do unlock the traffic signals so that I can do that. Here I'm using this lower plateau area to try and create a beachfront area that is below everything. So there you go, I'm doing the beachfront, European beachfront zoning there for low density residential, and then those paths that come down as well. That way people don't have to drive all the way around, they can walk up, and that kind of will reduce the traffic that's coming through the industrial area a little bit. There I was doing some grading. I'm just trying to clean things up, still keeping things looking good in the little time I have. That's my touch of Paris right there. That's the little Eiffel Tower that we get. It's a communications tower. Basically just make the people happy, give them some internet or Wi-Fi or whatever it is, and please the people. At this point, I'm noticing the traffic coming into the town is crazy. So what I do is I create a slip lane and widen the road going into the industrial area. I basically 4-laned it. Yes, I added more lanes, I know, but this is a 1-hour challenge. I'm not trying to create a super realistic city. I'm trying to create something that meets the criteria of the challenge. Again, adding more low density residential, just trying to meet that demand, give them some commercial nearby, just not, taking a lot of eminent domain there with that 4-lane road, and more industrial, more commercial. I think at this point, yeah, I start rezoning the city a little bit, trying to densify and take away some of that, the low density, and put in higher density. Yeah, I noticed that parking all the way along that road, so I added wide sidewalks so that you wouldn't see cars all the way down. It wouldn't look so intense, I guess. Now I'm starting to detail the park, as even though I have just so much residential demand, I could have been working on that, but instead I wanted to make sure with 10 minutes left that I did have something in the city that looked nice, and then I could go back to building. I mean, at this point my population is pretty high anyway. I've like I said before, I checked City Planner Play's score. I didn't watch the whole video because I didn't want his build to influence mine. But I wanted to see what his population was and know what to beat. And at this point, I'm well beyond that, and I did not expect that. Again, I think that's attributed to the massive industrial area. This was an attempt to, that was a tram station. This was an attempt to kind of quell some of the traffic demand that I was seeing. There was a few intersections that were really plugged up. So I thought, oh, I'll put in a tram network, and that way people can get around. But I didn't really think about it too much in the moment. And towards the end, I actually look, and the amount of people that use that tram service, there's so few. It was like 7 a week or something. I think it's just because everything's so close and everybody's walking everywhere. There wasn't really any demand. What I really should have done is I should have put a bus depot in, and then had the bus depot connect down to the other residential areas and the industrial area to reduce the amount of people driving back and forth from work in the industrial area, and then reduce the traffic that way. That would have been a lot smarter, but I didn't think of that in the moment. There's just things you don't think about when you're rushing around in these 1 hour challenges, and you only come to later. Here I'm trying to smooth out some of the areas that look a little crazy, so I don't have those ugly cliffs, and I'm adding in some trees, which actually cost a lot of money. I don't know if you noticed, but I just put in like $100,000 of trees, or at least close to that. I'm having more energy issues, even with that coal power plant. 3 more wind turbines maybe do it for the rest. I'm running out of time anyway. I'm at a less than a minute here, so I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah, let's wait out the last few seconds. Three, 2, 1, and there we go. That's time. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this turned out, with a total population of 16,629. Yes, all right. And I think the town's looking pretty good, or at least that part up on the hill. The rest of it is meh, to be honest. Oh, and we have some traffic here. And of course, at the bottleneck, where it goes from 4 lanes to 2 lanes, there's a traffic accident. Looking over the industrial area, not too proud of this. There's a few grading issues there, and our landfill's pretty full. But up in the city, things are looking pretty good. We got some leveled up high density buildings. Our park is looking very nice with its tower in the middle there, kind of like the Eiffel Tower, but super low budget. And here you can see the population heat map. Thank you, City Planet Plays, for hosting another challenge. I always love your challenges, and I look forward to the next one. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.